an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
Women Radio 91.7, the Ogbonge radio station for women and their families.
Okay, time check, it is 7:30 this morning. First of all, happy Monday to us all. Happy Monday to us all. Today is the 6th of October 2025. Yeah, this is WFM Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. Welcome you to the newspaper segment of the Full Breakfast Show. My name is Fumi Bangala.
My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Good morning to you. I hope that your Monday is starting off well, because mine is starting off well. It's a good week. It's a brand new week. I hope that this week will be good for us. This is like the second week of October already, whether we like it or not. Ember month, they is not joking. It will just come and pass you by. So you just need to be ready for it and just keep, moving. Just keep moving. Just keep going. Yeah.
How are you, Rose?
I'm okay, I'm good. Weekend is always short, so I don't even like people asking me how's my weekend, because it's always short, honestly. So I mean, well, but it was good. It was good.
I agree. Mine was short as well. Yeah, nothing extraordinary actually happened this weekend. I mean, life is, thank God for life, thank God, we're grateful for life, but nothing out of the ordinary happened for me. It was a very chilled weekend, no stress, no nothing. Got to play with my children a little bit more, chase them away when they were disturbing me. But yeah, this weekend was okay. But yeah, let's get
gas. Have you been able to get gas?
No, so have you heard of the scarcity of gas?
I mean, I don't know, but in more way I shall got gas.
No, I haven't.
My husband went that day. They were offloading gas safe at the petrol station, fuel station close by here. So he just waited and just got. And I was like, oh, Jesus, thank you, Jesus.
No, we haven't gotten yet. So when I went, the queue, it was like the whole of Lagos said, you know what, today we're going to buy. But then I started seeing the headlines, I think on Saturday, people started complaining that there's scarcity. But when I read more about it, apparently it's because, the whole Nupeng Pengasem thing that happened, it caused there to be a shortage in supply. So the demand is the supply. So they're saying there's nothing to worry about, that in the next few weeks, it would normalize. But then in typical Nigerian fashion now, prices have gone up because Nigerians, we know ourselves, we know be good people. So the prices, I think, is like 3,000 naira per kg now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
It's pretty normal around here. 1,100. We got some.
I think it's worse on the island, but because I started seeing it from people that live on the island, not even people that live on the mainland. So I don't know. God will help us. But let's get into the headlines this morning. This one is the Punch newspaper says terrorism, retired generals back calls for state of emergency. Tinubu prevented sabotage attempt. Dangote thanks president.
All right, on The Guardian, cooking gas scarcity pushes price to 3,000 naira per kg. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then the next one says Nigeria's energy future hinges on protecting Dangote refinery. It's all right. So we will definitely get past this.
Yeah. Strike in the This Day newspaper. Dangote refinery lords Tinubu, Rebadu, Ajayi, others over roles in settling disputes. I mean, I'm particularly happy about that, because now what the details of the settlement is, we don't know. But we're hoping that affliction shall not rise a second time.
Arise a second time.
Yeah, and then also in this day newspaper, we have federal government to ensure zero tolerance for substandard medical equipment in hospitals, says Salako.
All right, on Daily Trust, it says alleged forgery. UNN never issued me degree certificate, says minister. And then the next one says plot to remove reps minority leader thickens.
In the Vanguard newspaper, we have households suffer as cooking gas shortage worsens, rises to 25,000 naira. That's 25,000 naira for the 12 kg.
Okay.
Yeah, insecurity. Commander-in-Chief failing his people. ADC slams Tinubu.
Hmm. All right. In a Tribune, on the Tribune, it says Awalokan. I hope
Awalokon.
Awalokan. It's my turn to become Oyo governor in 2027. Says Adelabu. And then Tinubu insensitive to Nigeria's worsening security crisis, say ADC. I mean, it's opposition. So
Yeah,
what do you expect?
yeah. In Premium Times newspaper, we have Minister Uche Naji confesses UNN never issued me degree certificate. See, when I saw this headline,
Yeah.
I had to start digging. Like, what? Like, what do you mean?
What is that?
Like, what do you mean? You not go school, or you go school, or
How can so you and they never issued me degree certificate. You go, I be you no go. Which
do you
one be say they don't
understand?
give me?
Do you understand? And the backlash started, like this question started after Tinubu had, appointed him as a minister. And people were like, bro, this person that you're appointing as minister, it goes school, I mean, oh, God will help us in this country. World Teachers Day, Governor Oyebanji extends Ekiti teachers' retirement age to 65 years. I mean, when I saw this as well, I was happy on one hand because, our older people that we don't, our economy or the government hasn't done anything to help, elderly people ease out of service into retirement. Most of them still fight, they're still fighting over there for their pension up until
Yeah.
now. So many older people, except their children are financially buoyant and the children are caring for them, most times many older people are what they start getting anxious and panicky about, okay, when I retire, what happens to me after?
Yeah.
Because I'm not certain that I'm going to get my pension. My children, I'm not certain that they're going to give me anything. And then if their parents are like, I don't want to pressure my children, that's on the other hand. But at the same time, I was like, if they're pushing the retirement age to 65, is it that a 60-year-old, and this is not saying that we don't have 60-year people who are agile and active, but would they be able to still administer their duties at that age? Because as a teacher, excuse me, you already know that is already tasking. The job of a teacher is tasking. But then if you now extend it to 65 years, are you thinking about, the psychological, emotional effect it will have on them, having to maybe teach for a long time? Or are they thinking maybe they should move them into administrative offices, maybe consulting offices? I don't know. Those were the thoughts that came to my mind when I saw that. Yeah, we can move on.
And with what is actually going on in the world of teaching or teachers in Nigeria, do we even have, those that would want to stay till they reach that age before they even retire? Because right now in Nigeria, apart from probably the private schools, the high-end, good private schools we have, apart from those ones that maybe get to pay teachers good salary, for the government schools, how are we even sure? Because it's as good as saying, let me just be doing it before I get something good to come on. So are we even making plans, or are we putting things in place to actually keep people or keep the teachers glued to those professions, till they reach that age? Because that's one of the things that is affecting, the quality of education now. Everybody is okay. Oh, no work. Make I go find one small school they teach before I see one.
Yeah.
So that's what we get to see. Yeah. Okay, so let's head on to the Nation. The Nation says House of Reps minority cackles balls over leadership. Another one says Tinubu assures Northern Christians of fairness. Right? Good.
Yeah, that's in relation to how there was news that Christians are being targeted in terrorism. Attacks. Yes. In the cable newspaper, the NUJ commends DSS for releasing journalists arrested at funeral of APC chair's mother. We are going to talk about this in the headlines as well. ADC politics blinding Tinubu to insecurity in Nigeria.
All right, pen pushing. So this is quite will I say a bit funny, because I was reading somewhere that Jonathan came on and said that the kidnap of the Chibok girls marred his tenure, and then he thought that Buhari will come and deal with it, but obviously
But
that
no,
did not
what
happen.
actually said was
And now
that apparently Buhari was the one that was called to, is he speak to them or negotiate or something like that. Yeah.
that did not happen at all. And still up to now, we're dealing with insecurity. So, I mean, well, this could come from the opposition, but at the end of the day, are we actually dealing with insecurity? Totally,
Exactly.
because people are still getting kidnapped and so on. So, I just hope that, we actually put on our thinking caps and do something about it. All right, Pen Pushing says, Tinubu hails Nigerian women as heartbeat of country. And then CDOCs collaborate with Drug Law Enforcement Agency and others to fight drug abuse. Yo, Fumi, did you see a video of NDLEA when they nabbed somebody who was bringing in drugs, and the person, hair cream container? I was watching that video. Our hair cream container for a particular brand. I don't want to mention the brand, but the brand is quite, popular. And then they were opening the container of the hair cream, and after removing the lid, after removing the cover, they the way they opened the container, it was like there was a container inside a container. So if you are not careful, you would not even know that there's drugs. In fact, I'm like, okay, these people are getting wiser by the day. So it's like the more you catch them, the more they devise means of doing this. I'm like, so we can be this innovative in our thinking.
Right, like exactly. Why we're not putting that to use? I think everybody just
that got to me.
Make a quick buck. People want to make a quick buck, and nobody wants to do hard work, and they're not really thinking about the lives that are being destroyed from this drug abuse. It's getting out of hand, and you see young people taking these drugs, and their lives are being wasted, and you're just wondering, look at potential. See young man that is going. Anyway, finally, in the Daily Post for the headlines this morning, Edo PDP crisis deepens, beg your pardon, as Wike's legacy group elects new state executives. Finally, we have out of school children threat to Nigeria's future, says Peter Obi. Me, I agree.
Because definitely agree.
Yeah, because they say children are the leaders of tomorrow. I don't know. But anyway, we have our in-house analyst this morning here. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hi, Fumi. Good morning, Fumi, and good morning, Rose. I trust you guys are doing very okay this morning.
We should be asking you that question. Funny enough, we should be asking you that question.
Talk to me.
Because, I mean, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Emmanuel, how far? We should be asking you that question. I hope you are good.
Yeah,
I hope everything is back.
Are you good?
I'm good. And, you have to continue with the mission, and we have to keep pushing. So basically, I'm good, and just hope for a better outcome.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because VAR was stressful on everybody, especially you, because your name was just flying up and down. Emmanuel, this Emmanuel, I was like, you push pity this guy, yo. He's still our analyst.
Why for nothing?
We see the rest of him. But welcome back, and that was a success. Congratulations to all of us. I mean, it was a good one.
It was a huge success, and I think we should just bank on the gains of VAL and try to build from there, and hope that women would actually harness the power they have and make informed and better choices, and ensure that we have more women representation in politics, because the power to actually elect lies with them. That power is with them. So they have to understand what it means when they come together to achieve something. So they just have to be this strong group that stands together to ensure that good and capable women are pushed forward to occupy political offices.
Great.
What was the moment that stood out for you at the conference,
I think one of the moments was Nkiruka Onyeji-Ochada as Minister for State Labour, speaking about her experience and how she got into politics and how she was pushed, and encouraging women to be there. And also for Fumzili Nlambo Nguka, that's the former...
That's Rose's fave too.
Oh, yes.
The former deputy president of South Africa. I think she shared practical experiences that more women were not used to. And then she allowed them to understand how it works. And for someone that has attained one of the highest political offices in Africa and also in the United Nations. I think she's someone that was worth listening to, and I think the 45 minutes she spent with her with Stone during their fireside chat actually speaks volume, because she dropped a whole lot of knowledge for young women, and that at this point, younger women, is that English correct? Young women do know more than them. That it's the way life works. So they have to bring them up. They have to allow themselves to be mentored by these young women, and also mentor the young women, because experience cannot be bought. They have the experience, but these young women are now in tune with what is going on in society, technology, and all. So it has to be like a mentor and mentorship stuff for both parties. So she's telling them that time is coming that they need to step aside and allow the young women to come on board. And I think that actually resonates with me a lot, because energy and time is something that most of these they need to,
I don't know why I have a problem with that
they
word.
need to pass.
Since someone started saying it,
No, they
the
need to.
ancestors,
No, they need to
the
pass. They
ancestors.
need to pass down the knowledge, and we can't have that knowledge gap. We can't have that exposure and experience gap. They can't hold on to it. So I think this is the time there has to be a power shift, and that power shift has to come with transfer of knowledge. Just like, I don't want to go into the Bible this morning, but just like Elisha saw Elijah living, and Elijah actually dropped the mantle for him. I think some of them they need to start winding up in the next 5-10 years and dropping the mantle and retire and become advisory members. I think that's just one of the takeaway. So that's the way I picked up what from Zillion Lamboguka said, and I hope a lot of them picked up that way and try to find these young women who are capable and who knows a whole lot nowadays.
Me, I
actually
picked up that if you don't support women, there's a special place for you in hell. That one did not leave me up to today. So I shall pick up.
Yeah, but part of what Fumzili also spoke about was the fact that they need to find a work-life balance.
Balance,
She
yeah.
spoke about it, and Fumzili will be 70, and you can look at her. You don't know, she's going to be 70, I think, November.
Wow.
So they need to find a work-life balance, which is very important. And I meetings, and then family suffers, and then it's also a ripple effect that affects our society, because if you don't train up a child in the way you should go, you have headache in your old age, and then you don't have the relationship with your children. So work-life balance for me is very important.
I actually like that you said that, she said you should think legacy. I'm not even sure who had come on, if it was Ademi or Sumbo, or if it was even you, where we had spoken about how for the men, you see godfatherism, where
I made a
they
statement.
don't, they are like you, where you see that, like a Wike now has people that are under him, like a Tinubu was godfather to many people, but we don't really have that with women. I don't think I've seen a woman come to say, oh, this is the person, this is my mentor, this person that is holding my hand politically. So I like that she said that, and I'm happy that even politicians were there, whereby they are called, they're charged to say, look, stop thinking about yourself alone. You have to think about legacy. You have to think about what happens after you've gone. You have to think about, okay, who am I passing on this to that would be able to help me, carry on my legacy. I think that's such an important conversation to have as well.
Yeah, very important one to have, and I just hope that the gains of this conference would be pushed, and women will actually understand the power they have, and those high up there will come down low to interact with grassroots women, because they have the power. See, the power to elect for women rests a lot with grassroots women, and you need to understand them. Because of the survey that was carried out and the details, the data, you have to just engage the grassroots women. So when they get up there, they should not forget home. Like Adekunle Gold sang, don't forget home. So I think at this point, they need to understand that no matter where you are, it's just 4 years. You have to keep in touch with your grassroots community, work well with them, ensure that they are educated, ensure that they get the basics from you, and then you will see them trusting more women in position of power. Because if as a grassroots person, we come together and we vote for you, and after we vote for you, go to Abuja or the state capital, and we don't see your brake light until another election cycle, if another woman comes, we will not she's not going to get our trust because you betrayed the trust. So I think at this
Yeah.
point, there has to be a lot to be done, and the conference actually highlighted it from different panelists to fireside chats and speakers. It shows, and I also hope that the speech of the speaker delivered by Kafilat Ogbara would actually ensure that the reserve seats bill is passed, which was one of the thematic themes for the top for the conference. So, which I hope that would ensure that that is passed. And Onyeji Ocha also echoed that. Gil Lever also echoed that. Most of the speakers echoed that. And Fumsili also echoed that Nigeria has to take a lead. And it's a shame that Nigeria that has to take a lead is having low representation, about 4% of women, where South Africa and co, they've gone ahead of us. You can't be the giant of Africa in name and not in deed. So our character has to reflect what we call ourselves, except that we just call ourselves giant of Africa on paper, and then we see other countries being the giants, while we are just like a Goliath running away from David.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for giving us quite, a detailed. We talked about it on Friday, and Ademe was with us on Friday, and we talked about the role of women. Some of the callers also called saying women are everything. We run the world, so yeah. Anyway, let's get into the headlines this morning. This one is from the Vanguard newspaper. World Teachers Day, which was yesterday. Yes. NLC demands living wage for teachers, union rights for private school tutors. Back in the day, we saw teachers as the profession, yes, as honorable. Back in when you see your teacher on the road, you're already, in fear, like, oh my gosh, my teacher is coming. Your parents would even use teachers to threaten you that when we get to school, I will tell Mr. XYZ. But these days, we're seeing that, the honor and prestige that teachers used to have, it has, I don't want to say it is faded. Okay, let me say it is fading, that it has faded. The NLC, called on the federal government and state government to prioritize teachers' welfare by implementing a living wage, better funding for public education, and enforcing the rights of teachers in private schools to join unions. The NLC President Joe Ajaero made this call during the 2025 World Teachers Day celebration. He said Nigeria must deliberately invest in education to rescue the system from decay and reposition teachers for national development. There's a particular place I'm looking for in this paper where he was talking about, he said in Nigeria, we have perfected the art of praising teachers to high heavens while starving them on earth. We extol the nobility of the teaching profession, yet reward that nobility with indignity, dishonor, and scorn. We acknowledge that teachers hold the key to our nation's future, yet we confine them to a present filled with struggle, neglect, and near starvation. He also said the ratio, this teacher to student ratio in Nigerian schools are high, they're alarming and counterproductive. He said an average teacher in Nigeria in the country's public schools handles up to 50 pupils or students, which according to him undermines the learning environment. I think he also went on to ask, please, where is all this money going? Because if the tuition and lessons in schools increase, please, where this money they go? Because it certainly, this were his words, does not reach the teacher in the classroom. This injustice strikes at the very heart of our educational system. If we truly desire quality education, we must first ensure a decent quality of life for our teachers. He said, look, countries like China, India, and several Western nations have made progress after prioritizing education. So Nigeria has to prioritize education. Our schools should be better funded because that's where our future, lies. And he linked the welfare of teachers directly, that's where I read it, so the quality of education they provide.
Yes.
A teacher burdened by hunger, rent, and transport worries that worries that and worries, right, cannot be a fountain of creativity and inspiration. You cannot give what you do not have. The rewards of teaching must not be postponed to heaven. They must be delivered here on earth. I thought this was a brilliant submission by, the NLC president. And when we're reading the headlines, we had touched on this as well, Rose, where you were talking about
Yeah.
teachers and stuff like that. I think a couple of years ago, at some point, I think it's even still ongoing. Parents started coming out to talk about the quality of education that their children are getting. And we're paying school fees of 500, 1 million naira, but we're not. My child is not getting the quality. And some people had come to say that, look, if the salary of the teacher is 100,000, best believe there is 100,000 naira education that you're giving your child. Do not think there's 5 million naira education that you're giving your child. And then, the this 100, if you're paying them 100,000, and this is me being rich to say that it's 100,000 you're paying them, you've not factored in rent, you've not factored in food, you've not factored in expenses. Emmanuel, what would you say? Like, how can we just be better with this thing? Like, because again, like we said, children are the leaders of tomorrow, and if they're not getting quality education, some children can't even read and write at certain ages. Some children don't even know their past tenses separate from their present tenses. Things that I remember that when I was in school, where when they were not negotiable. So, Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on this?
Just before Emmanuel comes in on this, was it yesterday? I read that. Okay, I read a memo. That teachers in Zaria, Kaduna State, actually gave to the government that they were going to go on a peaceful protest. Why? Because even with the minimum wage, they were still receiving less than 40,000 naira as of today. Yes, teachers. State teachers in Kaduna State. And I know I have a sister, a cousin there who works as a teacher. I left Kaduna in 2018. Until date, she's still receiving less than 40,000 naira as her salary. So is it that even with the change of government, where is the government's mind? Because at the end of the day, you want this teacher to actually give in the best, but as it is, how do you even expect them to do so? If not, they're just keeping that job, collecting that one, and then doing other things by the side, not giving full attention to the teacher, to the students. So if we don't prioritize the welfare of Nigerian teachers, where do we want to say we have leaders of tomorrow? All right, Emmanuel, you can carry on.
Well, that's basically a lot, but let me pick from where Fumi stopped last, that we pay 500,000, a million, some 2 million naira as tuition fee. Fumi, you're not paying for the teachers, you are paying for the structure in that school. And this is the error with most parents. What we do is we pay for structure, big structure, and then we compete for pride. This is the school my child is attending. Look at their building, look at their structure. Why we don't look at the basics? See, one thing about the teaching profession is the fact that it is a noble profession. I won't lie to you. It is a noble profession. And when we're growing up, we always learn that teacher's reward is in heaven. But please, teacher's reward is not in heaven. Their reward here should be gotten on earth. The only reward in heaven is the reward of your work here on earth, how you lived your life, not how you teach. So, but the basic thing that we need to focus on as we celebrate the World Teachers Day, which was yesterday, is the fact that we've abandoned the whole lot. And sometimes I wonder if it is deliberate by our leaders to put our education sector in this kind of state. Because, see, this is a decay that has taken place over a period of time, not a short period of time, a long period of time. And what we are seeing now is the effect. Now, you can't tell me, we spoke about private schools. I don't want to go to private school because there's a lot of things that is required to run a private school. But the truth about the fact that you work with a private school is that most of these teachers don't even have job security. Most of these teachers don't have pension. Most of these teachers don't have health insurance. And then you look at the pay. And when you see the pay, you ask, if I am the one taking this pay, how would I impact children under me? Now, another thing before I go to the public, because I want to speak both to the private and to the public. Another thing before I go to the public is the fact that Go and check private schools now. Some of them make use of core members as teachers.
Yeah.
I remember when I did my service here, core members were more than the school teachers. And we were teaching. And before then, I've never been to the four walls of classroom, but thank God the student did well in their external exam. Because when I was told I was going to teach, I asked myself, this is not my career trajectory. This is not what I envisage I'll be doing. So I had to learn how to write lesson notes. I had to learn how to do all these things.
Oh yeah.
See, the joy of you being a professional is the fact that you love doing what you are doing. But ask most in the classroom, if there's an option for them today, will they take it? They will leave the teaching profession. So it's a whole lot. And let's look at the average salary of private school teachers between 15,000. An average, I'm using an average because I'm not talking about the high-end private schools that you pay 5 million per term or 10 million per session. I'm talking about the normal 250, 300 because it's normal now. That's just the average school fees of majority of private schools now. It's between 15 to 60,000 for the teachers. And tell me, how do they want to function? See, you can't keep a sector underfunded and expect there will be a difference or there will be a positive signs from there. We cannot keep our teachers in perpetual poverty financially and expect that our children will not be in education poverty. This is the irony. But are we looking at it the right way? The federal government might say they've increased budget to 3.52 trillion this year from about 2 trillion last year. But the question is, what is the overhead cost of that budget? Salary is estimated about 1.93 trillion, leaving little or nothing less for infrastructure development. And there's even a shortfall based on what we have now. If you are to put the minimum wage that was put there of 290 billion naira. So you look at all these things and then you ask the question, are we really serious about education or are we really serious about training teachers? Now you look at the bedrock of our problem. Colleges of educations are no longer colleges of educations, where they're just like an avenue to get a certificate. For me, Rose, take a walk to colleges of education and hear students of colleges of education speak, and then you ask, are they the teachers of tomorrow? Look at the curriculum the colleges of education are using and ask, are we still in the 1960s? Look at their curriculum. So it's a whole lot that has affected our education system. And teachers are now at the receiving end of it because they are not being paid well to do the job. And you can't expect someone that is not being paid well to do the job well. He has to find an alternative means of funding for himself or herself. In this economy that we have inflation are high, an economy that 15,000 naira as at 2023 January is now like 2,000 naira now. How do you expect them to survive? So when we speak to the quality of education, we cannot have an improved quality of education without improving the welfare of teachers. See, teachers are like drivers. Whether they drive you inside the bush, they drive you into a ditch, they drive you into a river, depends on their state of mind. And what is the state of mind of these teachers? Let me leave private sector and go to the public sector. How well do state government pay salaries? We've seen teachers protesting because they are being owed salary, and you expect them to wake up every day and go to classrooms to teach. Who are they teaching? I've not eaten. You're asking me to teach. I don't know what my children will eat in the afternoon or at night. You're asking me to teach another man's child. So when you look at this stuff, it's a whole lot that requires a whole lot to solve. But we are not sincere about solving it. Education now is for profit. If I go into the sector as a private individual, I'm looking at maximizing profits. I'm looking at how much I can make. I'm calculating how much I can make. So Ajero is right when he said that there is increase in school fees, in tuition fees, but there's no increase in teachers' salary, especially in the private sector. For the government sector, we are saying that 70,000 minimum wage is too small in this kind of economy. And we've not even seen some states paying that 70,000 minimum wage to teachers. And you are saying students don't know. How would they know? If you were to be in classroom, Fumi and Rose, what will you do? Will you be with 15,000 naira salary? How will you impart knowledge?
How?
So this is the problem we have. So a teacher struggling with unpaid salary, low income, and a whole lot cannot do you a lot of good, cannot teach your child a whole lot of good. This is why we need to check. See, it's not about just saying that, oh, I've paid 800,000, 1 million naira for my child, they should impart knowledge. Have you asked what is their salary structure for their teachers? Out of that money you are paying, do you ask how much goes to their teachers? Now, let me even tell you, during holidays, some teachers in some schools don't get paid. During the
Sure.
August, what was it called? They
Long
get December
vacation.
salary. During the
Yeah.
August break, they don't get payments.
Wow.
So it's a whole lot that is going on in that sector. And how do we regulate the sector? What do we do? Because we can't keep saying teaching is a noble profession, teaching is a noble profession, and you are asking someone in hunger to be noble. It's not done anywhere. You can't be a noble person when hunger has wired your head, has dealt with your family. You can't be noble. So what we are seeing now is the fact that I think I don't know whether there's a deliberate attempt to actually disrupt or destroy the education sector. But I think at this point, stakeholders must come, and this World Teachers Day must be a reflection, a time to reflect for us on what is happening to our teachers.
Sorry, man, not to interrupt you. Hello, good morning. We have a call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Women Radio.
Good morning, Evangelist Dixon.
This is Evangelist Dixon.
Yes, how are you this morning?
I'm
Yes.
fine. The man, I quite agree with you 100%. I've been laughing here. We don't take education serious, and the thing is the foundation. Do you know that when you see back to the child came empty. You send that child to school, he's learning how to pronounce words and spelling other things. And who are those that impart is the teachers? We don't really know the importance of education. We need to make teaching very, very attractive. My wife is a teacher, she has gone to work. My children, I beg them to study education. They know. And I ask why. They say, Dad, how much are they going to pay me? I still beg them, no matter the profession I'm going to still add teaching job. And thank God they listen to me. If you want to destroy education, you kill education. Because education is the key. I don't know why government is not spending. And that's what's happening in the north. You know, they don't take education serious. And that's why they're using all those. If those boys are educated, they will not be able to use them. When you say go and kill, you say, where is your own children? Go and fight. They will ask them, where is your own children? Most of them in the north, their children are here in the south. In a big school, this is what I know. And over there, they're not doing anything about education. And that's why we have this insecurity more. And none of them is saying, look at article. Don't seem to be a president. All these things, look at the killing going on. They are not saying anything. As if they are benefiting from it. I don't know why it's like this. Man, you are saying exactly how you think that's how it was. If we really want to move forward,
Evangelist Dixon, are you there?
I think we lost his call.
Call. Yes. Please, Emmanuel, go ahead.
So, and then another thing that's because sometimes I wonder where it's a cliche that we must celebrate the World Teachers Day, because for me, I don't see anything worth celebrating on with the state we've left our teachers. It's as if they were better off 20 years ago than they are now. It's as if they were better off at independence than they are now. Because when you look at it, then at least a teacher can still build a house, buy a car. But is that possible now?
I doubt it.
So it's a whole lot.
We have a call, Emmanuel. Let's try. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Rose. Good morning, Fumi. Good morning, Mr.
Good
Emmanuel.
morning, Mrs. Agoy.
Hi. Good morning, Mr. Bodi. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. How was your weekend?
It was short, but we thank God we're here.
How are
Go
you,
ahead,
Mrs.
let's hear.
Agoy?
Mr. Emmanuel. I've not seen that to buy, so don't even ask me, Fumi. Just leave me alone as I am now.
I could tell from your voice. I was like, this is not how you sound normally. And I know that Nigeria
Yes.
been dragging you since the Independence Day. So I
We
said,
move. We just moved anyhow. It is rough. Mr. Emmanuel, let me start with you this morning. Stop calling us ancestors. Oh. Stop calling these man and living legends. I've said that word. Don't call them ancestors. Thank you very much. Like you rightly said in your intro this morning, I also feel a thing or two from Val when somebody, I can't remember the person I said, if they are godfathers, you can also have godmothers. So watch out for the women as they also become godmothers to the youngest generation of women taking over the nation. And very soon we'll be handling, or they will be handling the baton over to the next generation. That's quite sacrosanct. That's what the men have, that the women don't have. And very soon, I believe, we'll start doing that now. As for the Teachers' Day, Mr. Emmanuel, you rightly said, what are they celebrating? It's just that it's a day that has been, carved out. And I would say it's a mention. It's a news mention for now. I wouldn't say they are celebrating them. Because for you to celebrate somebody, you are actually understand or have a full grasp of what that person is dishing or turning out in value. You appreciate it, and you're also matching that person aura for aura by compensating that person accordingly. In this place, that's not what we are doing in this class, and it's quite obvious and evident in everything we do. The teaching profession is the bedrock of every other profession. Whatever you want to become in this life has to be achieved by, teachers. The teachers come to form you, to make you. And, if they don't make you, they mar you, but they make you in order to become refined, more like a potter. Now, having said that, what we are doing, if teachers were frustrated before, Mr. Emmanuel, they are more frustrated now. A teacher that is hungry, and you tell the teacher, don't beat, because their temperament presently, and the child or the children, the students are frustrating them. But you expect them to, be mentally stable in class. It's not rocket science. You only get value for what you paid for what you've given value to. A teacher's emotional state of mind or mental health these days is kind of wobbly, shaky, because of everything not really working for everybody in the country. But the teacher you want his 100 or her 100% in class, what kind of remuneration are you giving to them? In the studio there, you guys give us value. You are more like the teachers we listen to on a daily basis. But I'm talking about a teacher, and you get value for what you're giving, for what you're churning out. I'm talking about a teacher that is in the four walls of a classroom, behind a marker board, holding a chalk or whatever it is they are using these days. All I'm saying is, if they don't want the education sector dead as it were, because it's dying gradually, and you hear students saying, why am I going to school? When even the government out there, they are forging certificates, some of them you don't attend the four walls of a school. Is that why they are killing the education system? I don't know. But I'm saying, if truly, look at the glitch left and right, children are even dying. Yes, the teachers are forming these students. What is their emotional state of health or their mental health? How are they coping with their family? If you want to celebrate, it's not about writing long speeches. I am no longer moved by these statistical algorithms I hear and speeches every day. Match your words with action and truly deliver that dividend a teacher is worth collecting. We do that. Except we do that, education sector will keep dwindling, dying, And we'll be covered in sand pretty soon. If they are listening this morning, our only plea this morning is please, as you are betting a teacher, you are betting a nation, you are forming and restructuring a nation, do the needful for them. I will not be dancing around in this vicious circle. Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nigeria. You have spoken well this morning. God bless you. Mona, give us gas. Oh, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Oboli, for calling. We do appreciate your call this morning. This is 16 minutes after 8, right here on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is the Voice of Women, and this is the newspaper review on the Full Breakfast Show right here on Women Radio. My name is Rose. I've got Fumi with me, and I also have Emmanuel, our in-house analyst this morning. And we're looking at what Teachers' Day. Are we actually celebrating them, or we should just keep the celebration and look at so many issues, surrounding the education sector, which, has to start with the welfare of teachers and how we can rebuild our schools. And the funny thing, Emmanuel, most of these people are not giving attention. Most of these leaders are not giving attention to this education sector. A lot of them received free education. No? Free education they received. Free uniforms. In fact, they were giving stipends, transport fare to go back home when they were going on holiday, giving food stuff to go back home and giving transportation to come back to school. But they themselves now, why are we seeing all of these ones?
We have a call.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I thought back. I thought of before.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. Imagine I said it on education. He has said it all. If you want to kill a nation in education, you should make teaching attractive by giving them good narration. Some of these guys, you compare them with the driver. If a driver does not have this state of mind, the car can crash and you lose your life. I remember the children given to you by God, the foundation is made by this teacher and the parents. They started from the teaching how to pronounce words, this and that. So if you don't take how foundation is going to me, they will not be able to take foundation. And on women, the man I don't want what you have on men to be educating women. One uncatchable and official woman, who will be able to move the position forward in everything. Even if he is good, God fearing, uncatchable. Don't have this thing. Nigeria is move forward. I'm among the people that enjoy education. They didn't give us one meal a day and give us free goods, new ones. So this is about education. And that's what we are doing in the North. That's why they are not taking education seriously. They don't want to take those because if they don't, they will not be able to use them. So they want to use them so they can use them. And this can't continue. Let us focus on education. Not as a people have seen this moment. Thank you. God bless all of them. You get there one day. God bless them.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon. Let's take some messages. Beautiful morning to you all in the studio. As far as I'm concerned, the so-called Pengasyn, TUC, and Labour are part of our problems in the land. Pastor Bakare telling us that only God knows how to remove Tinubu. Pastor Bakare is your Save Nigeria group dead. In fact, Tinubu's government has exposed a lot of things. The people we thought are real men of honor and decency are fake pretenders everywhere. It is quite unfortunate. Please, God, arise and trouble those that are troubling Nigerians. This is from Mayor in the Cotton Bay. Thank you so much for your message. It is true they say that when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers it. Rivers people have suffered the drama enough, and it's time to forge ahead for the sake of the states they both claim to love. It is great to see collaboration between state leaders and the Elders Council. Engaging with elders can provide valuable insights for the development of Rivers State. Looking forward to the positive impact of this meeting. Olusoga Ajayi from Odonla Ikorodu. Thank you. He also says, oh no, he repeated the message. Good morning to you in the studio. On Teachers' Day, the teachers are the bedrock of development in any nation, because teachers are the ones who teach everyone, irrespective of your position. Because if you look inward, teachers are least paid in Nigeria. as with the police, many go to join police because they are unable to secure jobs. Yes, Rose said this morning. And same with the teaching profession. Most people go there because they are unable to get jobs. And for private schools, they pay less and overuse their teachers. Thank you, additional Wasiu and Ikorodu. We also have top of the morning to you in studio. It's clear.
Aisha.
I think it's the same message. Okay, no. Pengassin has become tools to drive private investors out of Nigeria because from their actions, they are disgruntled set of people who do not wish Nigeria well. From their actions, Pengassin manages federal government 4 refineries in Nigeria in the last 3 decades without producing a single liter of fuel, and thousands of workers are collecting salary without producing a single liter of fuel. My advice to Pengassin is that they should start their own refinery and leave Dangote alone. That is also from additional Wasio in the corridor. Finally, we have from Hayford Osage from Eju Road. Hello, Hayford. It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
A very long while. Thank you so much for sending a message. We hope that it's not Nigeria that just made you to stop sending me messages, but it's good to see you. Howbeit virtually. God bless our analysts mightily for that. Teachers are not only appreciated in Nigeria, but underrated, insulted, and disrespected. No wonder you can never find a single child who wants to be a teacher. Those are the messages this morning.
Okay, let me just pick up from Mayor's part and say that number one, the power to choose. God has given us the power of life and death, and it will not come down to the affairs of man. He has given us the authority, and this is why there is power with man to determine and to choose. If you choose rightly, you choose life. If you choose wrongly, you choose death. And I think the power lies with us to make those choices. Though it's going to be hard, but I think we need to make. So people saying God should come down to intervene in Nigeria. God has been intervening in Nigeria, but the power of choice lies with us. And I think to just close this out, I will just conclude with the private sector in our education. And I will say that, see, for parents, it's not only about paying huge amounts of school fees. Ask, are the teachers in your children's schools being paid well? Because you can't be paying 2 million, 3 million, and then the person teaching your child is getting 50,000 naira. Be rest assured that your child is going to learn rubbish. Is going to learn nonsense, and you are going to just be wasting your money. So because a whole lot of things goes on in the private sector, a whole lot of things, and you know, private teachers are not part of Nigerian Union of Teachers, so nobody to fight for their rights.
Yeah.
And by convention ILO 89, International Labour Organization Convention 89, Article 89, they ought to be, but they've not been able to join in Nigeria. So the truth is nobody to fight for them. So the 15,000, the 20,000, and the use of core members. See, you can carry out a survey, go and meet core members who are teaching in private school. Some of them will tell you they are teaching GSS 1 to SS3. I don't know how you want a core member.
Experience, yes.
Yeah, without experience, you just bring him, and then after 8 months or 9 months, the core member goes, you bring another core members. Ask, who are those taking a larger percentage of core members? It is the school. Private schools, we are using core members to fill in the void because we can't pay teachers, because they can't pay teachers. And then 5,000, 10,000 naira for a core member to teach. I'm going to teach you in the nonsense. I can't be that core member.
Emmanuel,
so at this point, I think we need to look at this sector, and we need to look at our teachers. Teachers are noble. Teaching is a noble profession. But I cannot be a noble person when hunger, poverty, lack, and want reside in that individual house. That individual cannot, even if you have the fear of God, the more the lack, the hunger, the want resides in your house, the more you lose that nobility. So at this point, teaching is a noble profession, but we have to pay them well. We have to take care of teachers to ensure they remain noble. If you don't take care of them, this is why we see with our graduates nowadays, because a bad teacher, a teacher that is not well taken care of, will produce a bad student, which will show in years to come.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. As always, it is a pleasure to have you on the newspaper review segment. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. which means this is the end of the newspaper show. This is the end of the full breakfast show as well. As you've heard today, please go ahead and be a good person, do the right thing. Yeah, that's really my motivation for you today. My name is Fumi Bangala.
My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Do want to have a great day ahead and a great week too.
Goodbye.
Radio 91.7, breaking the culture of silence.
Have you been a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? Send an